What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel, where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, put the bell on all so you can get notified of all the latest activity, all the latest material we drop on this channel here. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I want to say a bit of news here on the fight that seems to just never want to happen. There's always bumps in the road, and yeah, this is a fight that between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder 3. This is a funny one for me because overall I see it as very disappointing as a fan, because at the end of the day, what I really want to see is undisputed for all the belts on the, that's the fight I sort of want to see, regardless of who holds the belts. That's what I wanted to see first. So prior to this arbitration and all this business, there was Fury versus Joshua that was set up, contract signed, boom, boom, boom. Now this arbitration rubbish comes in, and then we're supposed to get the third fight. And all of a sudden now we get to hear that Tyson Fury, he's contracted COVID-19. It's, throughout his team or whatever. Not sure who he caught it from, who knows. And a bit of the latest news a couple of days ago. Bob Arum, as some of you might know, some might not. But yeah, Bob Arum, he spoke out and he said, Tyson, he's sick with COVID. He doesn't want to get his second vaccination shot and all this. He had a Johnson & Johnson's, which just requires one, but now he's going to get, he didn't want to get his second one because he didn't want to get sick. And it's a lot of, sounds like a lot of nonsense coming out there. But yeah, anyway, latest on it is that basically Fury is, he took one dose of the vaccination, and then he was worried about taking the second one. But now, according to Bob Arum, he said that he took it in Miami and he's going to take the second one very soon. So he should be having both doses of this vaccine thing, and he should be up and running for the October rescheduling of this fight. And this is one fight where I think it's got a lot of people are skeptical about it, because in times past, we know when it came to the Vladimir Klitschko rematch, he beat Klitschko comprehensively, and in the first one, and then they were doing all the press tour for the second one, and that was when he went off the rails and began taking his top off and showing how fat he was, and he just went completely off the rails and just scuppered that fight and basically went into retirement. And there are some who believe that he this whole thing might just be a ploy, might just be a plot where he's just gonna retire, and he's just gonna quit the sport of boxing. He hates being sort of messed around like this. He hates these sorts of delays, and he's just gonna quit the sport entirely now. He's gonna retire. That's a rumor there. I think he is one of those characters that I don't know. For me, I'm on the fence with that. I think it definitely wouldn't surprise me if he just said, forget about it. I'm not gonna fight anymore. I don't want this. I don't need this. I made enough money. Blah blah blah. I've done it all. Because he's even said that regarding Anthony Joshua, that I don't need him. Undisputed. We've got enough money to retire. He's got enough. I've got enough. We can all retire tomorrow. Blah blah blah. I don't need to fight him. I've done it already. I've been undisputed already. Blah blah blah. So he seems like in his head, he might be, you never know. It's one of them where I hope he doesn't retire. I hope that this is just a blip, and we do get this fight. But it's one of them where, as a fan, I'm kind of tired of it overall, because it's a roadblock in the way of undisputed. It's tying up the WBC strap, and now we've got to allegedly wait till October just to have this fight. Um, Eddie Hearn sort of chimed in on this on an interview with DAZN, and he chimed in and basically said that this fight, it was a hard sell, and it didn't help. What didn't help it was basically the press conference where you had Tyson Fury doing sort of all the work, all the talking, doing his normal thing, clowning Deontay Wilder a bit, and you had Deontay Wilder in complete and utter silence, and obviously that didn't help sell the fight. So Hearn is of the impression that basically this fight was not going to make any money, and essentially they had to sort of abort it some way. So I don't think he's trying to say there's something dodgy about this whole COVID situation, although who knows. But I think that's kind of a point there as well, that this Fury Wilder free fight, regardless of who you support, regardless of who you like, if you're a diehard Fury fan or whatever, I mean, you might support it and whatnot, but even if you're diehard for Fury, you're just going to see this as a foregone conclusion that, well, Fury's just going to batter him again. And to me, as a fan, I mean, it's still a bit intriguing, because you never know. Wilder's got that power in his hand, in his right hand, and that. So you never really know 100%. But based on what we've seen through the two fights, it seems a foregone conclusion in Fury's favor. And I think even if you're a diehard Wilder fan, you'd want to see it. You'd want to see your man get redemption or whatever. But the thing is, are you willing to pay and go to the fight? Are these fans willing to do their pay-per-view and pay whatever it is in America, $80 to see this fight? And are there enough tickets being sold? And it's one of them where it just seemed to be such a quick turnaround, and I don't think this third fight has really captured the public's imagination. So I suspect that that could be something to do with it as well. Not only the health situation, but the ticket sales situation, because I don't think, even if you check the websites, people who've sort of been checking the websites and whatnot, there's still tons of tickets left for Fury Wilder 3. So they're not selling like hotcakes. They're not selling very well at all. They're selling quite poorly. So I think for me, that might be another reason why this thing's been rescheduled. And I think the rescheduling of it, in terms of them wanting to make the promoters and TV and pay-per-view, all the businessmen involved in this, in order for them to make money, I think, they probably did need to postpone it. Because if you're for boxing fans, we were all intrigued and geared up about Fury versus AJ. That was an intriguing fight. That it was polarizing. Fury's people said, AJ's going to get smoked. AJ's fans would say the complete opposite. It was intriguing. It was, kind of a 50-50 fight. We didn't know what's going to happen, and it was much more of an exciting fight. I mean, Wilder, yes, he may get more support in America or whatnot, but I don't think that support is enough, because the worldwide, I think AJ Fury is the bigger fight, and that's for undisputed. So I think that was where the excitement was. And getting Fury Wilder, although yes, it could have been a good fight, it's not the undisputed fight, and it's a fight we've seen twice already. So I think money-wise, it probably wasn't going to generate what they would expect. And as Eddie Hearn was saying in the interview, if they promised Wilder and Fury 20 million or 25 million, but the fight is not going to do at least 1 million plus pay-per-view buys, and even the second Fury Wilder fight didn't do 1 million plus. I think it done 800,000. And even Bob Arum himself admitted that, yeah, that 800,000 wasn't enough. They lost a lot of money on Fury Wilder too. So, you know, if they lost money on that one, which there was a bit around it, there was a bit of intrigue around it. This one, no real intrigue around it. You know, God only knows what they would lose on this. And I think they would, if they paid the fighters so well like they did the last time, and then they sold like less than half the tickets, and you know it only does a few 100,000 pay-per-views, it doesn't do nowhere near a million, then they'd be in a real a real deep debt. You know, they'd be in a financial hole if they'd done that. So I think that definitely might have something to do with the postponement as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think Fury might retire? Is there any truth in that? Do you think he's fed up with the whole process? And you know, do you think we will ever see Fury versus Wilder 3, or will we ever see Undisputed in the next few years? Let me know your thoughts on this whole matter. And until next time, this is MKO Pugilism over and out. I'll catch you on the next one.